In a small town in Oregon, surrounded by pine trees and mountains, lived a man named Daniel. At 35, Daniel's life looked perfect on paper. He had a stable job, a family that loved him, and a comfortable house. Yet every night, when he lay in bed staring at the ceiling, he felt a gnawing emptiness. Daniel wasn't living in the moment. His mind was always racing, replaying past regrets or fast-forwarding to future worries. He often caught himself thinking, what if I had taken that job in another city? What if I fail tomorrow? What if I lose everything? The weight of yesterday and the fear of tomorrow made today feel unbearable. He wanted peace, but he didn't know how to find it. One Saturday morning, Daniel drove into town for coffee. While waiting in line, his eyes wandered to an old bookshop across the street. Something pulled him inside. Dusty wooden shelves lined the walls, and in the back corner, he noticed a small book with faded golden letters. Teachings of the Buddha. The shopkeeper, an elderly woman with gentle eyes, noticed Daniel holding the book. She said softly, "That book found me when I was lost. Maybe it's your turn now." Daniel smiled politely, but didn't understand what she meant. Still, he bought the book and tossed it on his nightstand at home. That night, restless and unable to sleep, he finally opened it. One passage stood out to him like a lightning bolt. Do not dwell on the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Daniel whispered the words aloud. They felt strangely personal, as if they were written for him. The next morning, he tried something new. Instead of grabbing his phone right after waking, he sat by the window with his coffee and simply noticed the steam rising. He listened to the morning birds, felt the warmth of the cup, and for the first time in years, he felt present. It lasted only a few minutes before his thoughts wandered again. But that brief moment felt like a breath of fresh air. Determined to learn more, Daniel began practicing small daily exercises from the book. While driving, he paid attention to the sound of the tires on the road instead of worrying about work. When eating dinner, he focused on each bite instead of rushing to finish. But the real challenge came one evening when his 7-year-old daughter, Emma, asked if he could play with her after work. Exhausted and buried in deadlines, Daniel almost said no. Yet something inside reminded him, be here, now. So he put his laptop away and sat on the floor with her. They built a tower out of blocks, laughing when it toppled over. For the first time, Daniel noticed the sparkle in his daughter's eyes, the way her giggle echoed through the room. He realized how many of these moments he had missed, chasing worries about tomorrow. Despite small breakthroughs, Daniel still struggled. His job was demanding, and his mind often drifted back to anxiety. One afternoon, after a stressful meeting, he stepped outside the office to clear his head. A coworker named Maria joined him. She was known for her calm presence, no matter the chaos. "How do you stay so peaceful?" Daniel asked. Maria smiled. "Years ago, I lost myself to stress, just like you. Then I learned something. Life only happens right now. Everything else is memory or imagination. If you don't anchor yourself to this moment, you lose life itself." Her words echoed what Daniel had been reading. It felt like confirmation that he was on the right path. The turning point came a few months later. Daniel's company faced a sudden financial crisis, and layoffs began. His name was on the list. Losing his job was his greatest fear, and it had finally happened. At first, panic gripped him. What would happen to his family? His mortgage? His future? But then he remembered Buddha's lesson, stay present. Instead of spiraling, Daniel took a deep breath and focused on what was real in that moment, the ground beneath his feet, the sound of his daughter's laughter at home, the comfort of his wife's hand on his shoulder. The future hadn't arrived yet. The past was gone. Right now, he still had love, strength, and clarity. This mindset didn't magically solve his problems, but it gave him peace to face them. With calm determination, Daniel began applying for new opportunities. He found freelance projects, then landed a role that not only paid the bills, but gave him more time with his family. One evening, sitting around a backyard fire pit with his wife and daughter, Daniel realized something profound. His life wasn't about waiting for some perfect future or reliving a painful past. It was about this, the glow of the fire, the laughter of his child, the feeling of being fully alive in a single breath. Daniel thought back to the first time he read those golden words, do not dwell on the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. They had saved him from living half a life. Buddha's wisdom had crossed centuries and continents to reach a man in Oregon who was drowning in worry. And Daniel learned that the greatest gift he could give himself and his family was the power to live in the present. So if you ever find yourself haunted by yesterday or paralyzed by tomorrow, remember Daniel's journey. Remember that peace isn't waiting somewhere in the distance. It's right here, right now. And all it takes is the courage to pause, breathe, and live this very moment.